Final for the first time since 2019 when they won the whole thing. Wake Forest looking to get back for the third time under Bobby Muse. Last time they were there, 17, when they won the whole thing over UVA. We're underway. It is rainy, it is cold, and the ball is popped out wide to Travis Smith Jr. 49 degrees here in Cary, North Carolina tonight. Hopefully the rain will subside in the second half of this match. Skip through to Dylan Borso. Devin, how do the conditions at all play a factor in this game early?
I certainly think the amount of rain that we've had, it's going to slow it down a little bit at times, but you know, that's only if it continues. We actually saw in warm-ups that it's popped up a little bit. I wonder for Wake Forest, who like to be on it a lot, right? They want to make you chase. You know, is it as clean on the ball tonight? That's a big thing for them in order to have success. I'm less concerned for the University of Virginia because as this winning streak has gone on, again, 8 wins in 9, they said, you know what? We don't need the ball all the time. We're happy to sit back and let you make the mistakes because defensively, they have been locked down all over the field.
They are now top 3 in goals against average, actually second in the conference now. You see Colin Thomas losing his footing early on. That game against Pitt, UVA were outpossessed about 70-30. Didn't matter. They took the 2-0 win, as Jose Mourinho made famous. You know, you take the ball, we'll take the 3 points. That's what they did. Back to Prince and Ponce, captain, over to Jose Perez. Out to Danny Kruger. Perez on the ball, the sophomore stepping forward, finds Cooper Flax, second team all-conference. They just announced yesterday. Junior from Long Island. Early on, these two teams played earlier in this year, 1-1. Way different lineups, way different tactics. Does that game at all factor here tonight?
Because it was such a long time ago, early on in the season, to me, not as much. Yeah. Because so much has changed for University of Virginia specifically, right? So you look at them and, again, they pretty much sat in a 3 early on. They weren't changing, oh, then we're going to go to a 4. And now they do it within the game. And they do it a couple of times, too. So the scout's the same in the sense of the profile of each player, but the way that they're applied within a game is very different.
To that point, Reese Miller was the goal scorer for UVA just 6 minutes into that game. He's out, season-ending injury, the dynamic winger. Thomas's pass cannot connect to Travis Smith. A good press by Thomas. Foul actually called by Feathers.
Again, just a real good look right there. When I was talking about, you're not clean on your first touch, you're going to get paid tonight.
Yeah.
It's the guys, the game is too quick. Defensively, both of these squads just recognizing what the tendencies are of players. If you don't have the ability to let that ball pop off your foot the first time or your first touch isn't on point, you're going to have trailing runners real quick. They're going to make you cough it up.
How much does that add to the nerves of the moment of playing in a semifinal in these conditions?
You know, early on, it's something that you think, okay, how do I establish confidence? Well, the first one goes, the second one goes. That's each individual. That's not a team thing, right? That's a player that goes, you know what? It happened, move on from it. There are guys that start to kind of head down this rabbit hole of, I made a mistake. Oh, no.
Shook.
100%.
Yeah.
And especially when, again, with the weather, you start hearing the footsteps, don't make a mistake.
Yeah.
That's a very scary thing. Playing scared is the worst thing you can do as a player.
No doubt about it. Back to Bo Cummins. The senior's been really good when he started right back in recent weeks. Over to Prince and Ponce. And Danny Kruger, the freshman, was omitted from the all-freshman team in All-ACC. To say that is egregious, is that an understatement for the freshman from Germany? And Prince and Ponce was omitted too. These two center backs, altogether, I couldn't believe it.
Well, I think the bigger one for me is Prince and Ponce. Yeah. I mean, you and I all season long, we're very fortunate in the positions that we're in that we get to see a lot of really good players around the country. The fact that he wasn't involved, let's just say that it was taken as a little bit of slight. We're a little bit disrespected if you're a Wake Forest Demon Deacon.
As it should be. Now, Bobby Muse did say Prince, he rolls right on. He felt more bad for Kruger being left off because that type of leader that he is, which says a lot about Prince. But we both were shell-shocked, to say the least, when we heard that come out.
But also as selfless as it is for those two individuals, and that there's something bigger than them, right? Yeah. They're less concerned with the individual accolades compared to the form that they've been able to provide, especially for such a historical program for Wake Forest that they're not used to chasing everybody down, trying to find a way to get into the tournament, right? They're the ones that everybody is looking at as the standard, going, you know what? How do we get up to that level? How do we become a team that's on the precipice of 150 wins in the last 10 years? If they were to win tonight, they'd be the only team in the country to be able to do it. And as we're talking right now, 149, that is the best over the last 10 years. That's the kind of standard that they set within college soccer. So a bit of unfamiliar territory that on the back end still produces very similar results.
No doubt about it. And Bobby Muse he's well aware of where they are at 149. He did say, we want that 150. We want that 150, and we want a chance to average. That's averaging 15 wins in college soccer a year, the 10 years he's been here. That is pretty wild. They're just ahead of IU and actually Clemson, who's coming up later to play Cal in that amazing run that the Golden Bears are on. We'll get into that throughout tonight. Julian Kennedy scoops up the ball. Perez is able to control it. Back to Kennedy. Striker dropped a little deep. Basit Umar, transfer from Dayton. Connecting with Kennedy.
The touch.
He'll take a shot, just fires wayward. And as we mentioned, Bobby Muse, the Wake Forest head coach, in his 10th season. Looking for that 150th win, four-time ACC Coach of the Year. Four-time ACC Coach of the Year, back-to-back tournament championships in 16 and 17. He's under the umbrella, trying to keep it warm. It is the Mother Nature's not been kind tonight. Let's just say that.
He doesn't want to scuff the kicks. Best shoe game in college soccer.
It is, but I don't know how you could survive it out there. It is tough on that pitch. A beautiful pitch here in Cary, but
Galosha's on the Christmas list.
Dylan Borso, the freshman, who was on the All-ACC freshman team, and rightfully so. Hayes Wood leaves his pass a little short. As you mentioned, Wood getting the start in today's game. A little bit of an injury to Joaquin Brizuela, who's been starting usually in that number 9 spot. Parker Sloan also getting the start in place of David O'Corey, who got just his second start of his career in that last game at Pitt. They went a little more of a veteran group, but both those guys are carrying a little bit of an injury tonight, which is a problem.
The bigger one for me is Hayes Wood in the 9, and that's not a disrespectful comment towards Parker Sloan. I just have a little bit more confidence in him, and that's also why Hayes Wood has been sitting on the bench, right? Trying to track back and figure out a way to get involved in this 9 with the form that Brizuela's in. Brizuela has such a good profile when they change their system, right? So if it's the 4, the 3, the 5, whatever, if you want to stack the midfield, if you have a single marker running through, he's still the guy that can let you stretch the back line. He can play on the diagonal. He's really good with his feet. And unfortunately, Cavaliers just haven't had that consistency out of Hayes Wood, but he certainly doesn't lack talent. No question whatsoever about that. 21 goals and 12 assists in 65 appearances prior to showing up in Charlottesville.
Yeah, the transfer from Lipscomb has played. This is his 6th year of college soccer. He's had some injury issues. He was out all of last year, and that affected the beginning part of this year. Obviously, his COVID year, so he's got experience, to say the least, as this UVA team has continued to come together and find themselves. Back to Paul Visa, another guy that's got a ton of experience, over 70 appearances, 5th-year guy. Kruger scoops it up.
Just recognizing the past couple of times that they've done a really good job to play into Julian Kennedy, but unfortunately, coming back to our convo about 5 minutes ago, because of the elements and the moisture on the pitch, ball just popping away from him. Although they haven't been able to get there the first time, every single time, Virginia, they've done a really good job on the second effort. Weak side support for Nick Dang and Austin Rome in the midfield. Brennan Lamb, keep an eye on number 8, the way that he tracks. He's such a versatile player. At the wingback spot, popping him off into the man marking position. He was incredible against Pitt.
Oh, yeah.
Right through the midfield. And
Guillermo Feitosa, that was a nightmare for him. He couldn't get on the ball. One of the best players in the league. Nice little reverse pass by Mangarov. Sets Hayes Wood loose down the channel. Back to Mangarov. He might get a shot off. He wheels back out. Looking toward the back post. Sloan heads it down across. First time UVA forays forward. A little threatening.
And the ability to establish numbers up high here. Well done by Daniel Mangarov. And is a central player that gotten a little bit further to the outside on the right, but as he cuts back in on that left foot of his, excellent vision. Bringing him back through. This is one thing where they've taken some interesting steps as the season has gone on. You don't have the star striker, right? You don't have the ability consistently to have balance on the outside of the midfield, so it's okay, do we run through the middle? Well, they haven't gotten that either. So as they shifted, there were other areas that were affected, and down this stretch, although they've been really good defensively, it's also patience coming off the back line, and moments like that where it's one ball over the top. It looks like he's 1v4, but then quickly you create even numbers because of the advancement. They reset their lines defensively, compress to their field, and all of a sudden that man advantage that was Wake you flipped it and you have the opportunity to go and strike.
So George Gelnovich there on your screen. Legendary coach, part of all 7 of their NCAA championships, whether it be a player, assistant, or a head coach. He's won this ACC tournament 5 times. He's won 2 national championships as a head coach. Digs out a cross, and Tom Miles holds on to it. Tom Miles is a story in himself. This is only his 2nd start of the season. Grew up in London. Grew up in the Crystal Palace Academy, so he's played against top-level competition. Used to train with the first team, but went to a D2 school, Lubbock Christian, and then transferred. Played over 50 games there. Transfers here. Joey Petruni gets injured in that NC State game. He comes in at halftime, makes some huge saves, and at that point in time, if they lost NC State, they were worried about their NCAA tournament resume. Forget winning the championship. They worried about their season being over. He made some big saves, played really well in the pit game. The couple times he was even challenged, and he's done a great job so far.
We've seen a lot from the outside, too, and to me, that's a big indicator of the level of confidence that a goalkeeper has. When teams want to challenge you from the width, that's on you to communicate and make sure that everybody is organized in front of you, but also when you catch that gray area between the penalty mark and the 6, are you going to go?
Yeah.
Right? Do you have the ability to come off and really take command of the box? A lot of guys in that situation don't. They kind of sit back, they're timid. That hasn't been the case for Tom Miles whatsoever. You mentioned over 50 appearances prior to arriving here, so quality and experience certainly wasn't an issue whatsoever. It was just trying to find a way to get himself an opportunity as the one.
And Joey Petruni is on the bench. He had some. In the concussion protocol, got flipped onto his back in the NC State game in the first half. So wishing him the best, but Miles has done a great job in his stead. And Ponsa plays through to Kruger. Flax on it again. Smith Jr. back to Ponsa. Perez trying to float it forward.
That's dangerous.
Good turn by Albangashi to get a little bit of trouble. Oof. Hayes Wood is clattered by Basit Umar.
A bit fortunate that the ball into Austin Rome settles about 15 yards higher, because that's a very dangerous clearance. Thought he had the opportunity to go back to Miles and settle this thing.
And Basit Umar has really emerged from this team, but this team has gone through so many injuries, the Wake team. I mean, 6 guys that were high-level ability, guys that have been in the All-ACC team like Bobby Niang, Vlad Walent, and the ACC freshman team. Pierce Battison was an All-League player in the Big East. He was at UConn. I mean, you're missing, you could say all 6 of these guys would start for Bobby Moose's club, and despite that, they've continued to plow forward, lost 1 game in 11.
And Nesto Perez in the midfield, the young sophomore, really an afterthought coming into the year, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but Liam O'Gara comes down. Pierce is supposed to be his replacement. Yeah. He goes down, so quickly, centrally, you're out of luck.
Ella goes down hard there too, speed of going down. They play on, and almost threw to Wood, but Ponce's able to get there. Distribution by Alphen. Almost got to Thomas. I could have led to something, but no. Go ahead.
So just going back to it, right? You've got a commander in the midfield, and Liam O'Gara, who was an absolute revelation last year for Wake Forest, such a young freshman, and then
who is dressed tonight. He could potentially play. He trained the last week or 2. He could. He's been training. It's just that he went full contact.
But it's every single level, right?
Yeah.
And again, the thing about Wake Forest is it's built on rhythm.
Yeah.
You know, the tempo in which you're trying to attack the game. And sometimes, yeah, they want to challenge you in different areas of the field, but it's always about having the ball and making you chase, and guys that are comfortable on it. So if you haven't played a lot of minutes, if you haven't been involved in the program, if you've only been regularly kind of one of those scout team guys, now you're thrust into a situation where you're providing heavy minutes off the bench, or you're in the 11.
Yeah.
That comes with a lot of pressure, especially for such a storied program, both of them for sure. So it took a lot of time, and it's kind of funny, you and I talking to Bobby Moose earlier this year when they were about 500, and he goes, I'm not really sure how to take this, but a lot of people reaching out saying, are you okay? Because again, that's not the standard.
Yeah. Said he was getting texts from a number of other coaches on campus where they were, I believe, 1 and 2 at the point. Are you okay? What have we built here? That we lost 2 games and people are freaking out. But that's a good sign. And honestly, it was the same thing for UVA, being 2-4-3 to start the year. There was people wondering what is going on there as they try to find themselves. But They have since that Virginia Tech game, and now a foul called on Kennedy.
I'll give him credit. Julian Kennedy has been very active up top. You know, the way that the back line's situated tonight, they've got a lot of coverage. They don't really release Victor Akum on that left-hand side, so it's 3v1 in a lot of situations, which means you have to advance up high. You have to bring runners and Basit Umar, and if it's not there, two things happen. Kennedy's going to search and find it because of frustration, but also out of necessity. I think he's done a really good job so far coming into the pocket. Just hasn't been as clean on the ball as you'd like him to be, and also hasn't really had the support of the secondary runs coming off of him. You know, a bit tentative from some of the wings on Wake Forest to really go and challenge on the outside as he comes down in, and they don't have a threat up high.
Foul called on Wood there, so ball turned over. Flax. Over to Kruger. Over to Mpansa. And they go out. There was no corner. It will be for a goal kick. Okay, sorry, not a goal. Throw. Center official feathers. I thought he pointed toward the box. He was pointing just forward. So Wake maintains possession. Umar. Flax. Gets it to Kennedy.
Beautiful touch.
Back to Flax. He can hit it. Good deflection, and that will be out for the first corner of the match for the Demon Deacons.
That's much better ball movement. Again, we just asked for a threat, and even though it's not in wide open space, great job. Again, the way that Kennedy comes back over and the release by Flax. You know, the touch, you'd like a little bit more lateral if you want to be nitpicky. That would allow Cooper Flax to step in and try and take it first time. But again, beautiful combination play by the Demon Deacons.
Flax to take it. Swinging ball low. Borso tried to flick it on. Now he can pop it in. Kennedy arrives! Kennedy scores! Big time play for the senior. His first goal of the season. Ball fell to him. He did need a second shot.
Basetti's been active, certainly not for lack of trying. A lot of movement for Kennedy up top so far, an open run of play. But just watch him at the bottom of the sixth. This is the mark of a great goal scorer at his best. Just sitting on the backside, allowing the play to develop, giving himself the opportunity to go and make a big play. The 9, the Achilles heel, all season long. You call it trial by fire. We call it character. You call it whatever you want. What it is success in the moment. It's been Bilal, it's been Kennedy, it's been a little bit of everyone, and that is how this team has pushed itself into the semis of the ACC and certainly into the lead.
And this is rare for them. They're 5-1-0 in scoring first. They've conceded first in 11 matches this year, but they've won 4 of those, they've drawn 4 of those. This team never says die, but right now they're up and in a pretty good position. What I loved about that celebration is the guy celebrating the most may have been Bobby Muse. He was the one hugging Kennedy for a good 20 or 30 seconds, just shaking him around.
Oh, he's in again. Backside.
Umar waits on it. Dylan Borso got the assist. It wasn't the best taken corner, but Borso was able to clean it up and then make it dangerous, and they capitalized. Channel to Umar. Lamb over there. Lamb shadowing Umar kind of like he did Feitosa in the game against Pitt. Turned over by Mangarov. Played forward, Paul Visa heads it down, just goes to Kennedy, the goal scorer. Visa picks his pocket. Heavy touch by Mangarov, takes him back. Remember, this UVA team went down a goal to NC State, too. They came back and won that game on the road just about 20 minutes down the road from where we are here in Cary, North Carolina. This team is down but not out, ever. Thomas for the turnover. Cummins, Kruger. Borso. And Flax lost his footing. Chested down by Pela to Lamb. Back to Victor Akum. Up to Pela, one of the goal scorers of the game against Pitt. They scored twice within 30 seconds. They did the same thing against NC State, which was remarkable. Pela got his first goal of the season. He drives it over to Visa, who's got dangerous service with that right foot. Plays the channel, though. Visa earns a corner off of that, though. What'd you want him to do there? You were just
wanted him to hit it. Yeah, I mean, again, the first touch that he took on the initial movement was just a little bit to the inside, so he couldn't get his hips around the ball. Well done to keep it alive down in the corner, but as it comes back, you had numbers. Just hit it the first time. Don't allow them to set themselves any further defensively.
Mangarov over the ball. He's currently 6th in the ACC with 7 assists on the season. Visa's got 8. Back post ball. Ooh, wow, tons of contact, and Alpin got a hand to it. That was a big-time punch. Because there were bodies there to possibly put that in.
The ball is exactly where you want it to be in general, yet alone the fact that all of that space had been vacated. So the Cavaliers on the back post run coming on the diagonal, and I gotta be honest, you're gonna feel a bit hard done here if you're Austin Rome. If you watch the way that he jumps, he goes straight up here. I mean, if anything, you're gonna always protect the goalkeeper if you're the ref, and I fully respect that.
Yeah.
But as an attacker, your only job, prerequisite, is to come straight up in the air. He does that. Goalkeeper actually drifts into him.
Yeah. Rome, the redshirt senior, transfer from Providence. And Akum will be called for the foul, a push in the back on Thomas. And this is the first of 2 ACC men's soccer championship semifinals. The second one coming up, folks. It's a remarkable one, and maybe a historic one. Cal, the 11 seed, no 11 seed has ever played in the ACC tournament semifinals. Well, they've done that, and they did it in amazing fashion. They've won 4 games in the last 4 weeks by going on the road and beating teams in the top 16 in the RPI. They showed up in North Carolina on November 4th. They never left. They beat UNC at UNC. They beat Duke at Duke. They changed hotels. They're staying here. This is a potential Cinderella run. They never could have made the tournament. Now they can punch their own ticket by winning this. Or Devin, their RPI now is at 28. They were at 59 9 days ago. They were done. You got to be at least in the, 35 to get an at-large. They're in a pretty good spot from an RPI standpoint.
Yeah, the 35-40 range is historically where the bubble teams come from. Second lowest entering the ACC tournament, trailing only Louisville. And those 4 wins you mentioned in the top 16, there's only 2 teams in the country that, if you look at the top 25 RPI teams right now, that have 4 more wins. Pitt and Cal. And that gives you kind of a company that they're keeping right now, but also a must-win situation, because you got to be 500 or better in order to get yourself into the NCAA tournament. So certainly a dicey wanted to do it. Of course, it's Clemson Tigers, the reigning national champion, 2 out of the last 3 years. They're just...
So while we have the minute, they're 8-7-2, but one of those wins is against Dominican, a non-Division I opponent out of California. So they're 7-7-2 technically by the letter of their resume. So if they lose tonight, they're not eligible to be in the tournament. If they draw
in regulation,
if they draw and they lose the game, they're fine. And penalties, they're okay.
You would think. You would think.
You would think. But we'll see how all these things shake out. We'll get into this game more. We got a great game here.
What
Thomas
a ball that is.
Down. He's got a chance. And a favorite left foot. Big save by Miles. Kennedy's still on it, though. Leaves it. Umar! Off the post and in! Miles made one great save. He bumbled that one. Deeks up 2-0.
As they compress the field to one side. They've done such an incredible job in this opening 20-plus minutes of moving the Cavaliers one side to the other, but it compresses the spaces and it opens up the back shoulder runs. The ball is beautiful. Watch the first touch. I mean, you cannot be any better there if you're Colin Thomas. Beautiful save. Good confidence by Miles coming off the line, but then just the ability to keep this thing alive. Guess who? Yes, it's off of Umar, but it's the goal scorer. Julian Kennedy struggled with his touches early on, not this time around. Great hold-up play as he brings him in 3 separate Cavalier players compressing into the situation, drops it off. Umar had it up. Little bit behind the goalkeeper. Thanks for coming. Doubles the lead.
Wow. What a ball and what a control by Thomas. But here comes the Who's, and then Pela off the volley goes wide.
The ball, the control, and then again on the backside of it, just that ball 9 times out of 10, it's gone. It's shipped out of the box. Julian Kennedy opens the scoring in the 18th minute. The striker for Wake Forest, they've had so many problems all year long. It's production, it's an understanding of time and place and when to go and challenge in the moments, how you want to attack the back line. And now twice in the opening 25 minutes, they're 9 with an absolutely massive impact on this game. And he goes again. Look at him.
Wow, here comes Kennedy. Can they find a third? They got a lot of bodies in the box. Kennedy, good pullback. Oh, it looked like Flax was coming onto it, and Umar's touch actually took it away from him. And you saw that third straight game with multi-goals. Like, this is a Wake Forest team that we mentioned the injuries has struggled to score goals. That's been a big issue with them all season. As Kennedy's on it, they were, in terms of goals per game, they're 14th out of 15 teams in this conference now. But they're able to put together some multi-goal games. Defensively, they've been very good as of late. As this goes out, let's tell you about some college football coming your way. Tomorrow, ACC Network lineup, Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Number 19, Louisville takes on Stanford. We'll cap the night with North Carolina hosting Wake at 8. Both games also available on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. North Carolina, pretty cool. Marion Hampton, the great running back for UNC, has got 7 consecutive games over 100 yards. Looking for an all-time record at UNC of 8 if he could do it. Check that out tomorrow night against the Demon Deacons.
How's the response now, though, if you're George Gelnovach and co on the sideline, and how do you get back into this game? Well, number one, you got to have a target man up top. Said that we haven't seen enough out of Hayeswood. It doesn't just have to be him, though.
Yeah.
Right? Just like the conversation for Julian Kennedy, Hayeswood is having to do so much tracking back because of the influx of bodies for Wake Forest when they're on the ball and bringing them in. That's why that long ball up over the top works so well. As a defender to turn around one-on-one, very difficult. But wide. Visa coming into play. Parker Sloan on that far side. Again, within your midfielders, one of the great things that you get, remove Brennan Lamb for a second, out of Umberto Pela and Alvin Gashi, is their willingness to get out of those central locations, right? They do such a good job of dragging teams side to side, but unfortunately, they haven't been able to do so because of all the work on the other side of the ball.
Mangaro clips it in, headed down. Pela can't get to it, and Borso scoops it up. He's able to get the turnover. Right foot can be dangerous, but that's too close to Alfin. Let me ask you that then. Go ahead.
It's just about that's a mental side.
Yeah.
What happens is you sit there, game goes left, game goes right, you chase one way. You think the hardest work that you've had to do is done when actually physically, sure. It's the mental side that's harder because your initial reaction is up, well, let me play the ball, right? When instead it's keeping the ball moving, but also reestablishing dominance within these possessional patterns, which they just haven't done. They pick the head up, they stick one ball, and you're not getting any movement off the ball to assist going forward.
You talked about in the beginning of the show, Virginia's ability to change this season has helped their season survive, and not just survive, but thrive, winning 8 of 9. When you're down 2-0 and the way that their posture has been set up to be pretty defensive and to score maybe on set pieces, transitional moments, do you look at something different, albeit still in the first half? Because there are some other offensive weapons you could put in You know, Victor Akuman at left back is really a center back. You kind of lose an offensive space there. Like, when would you look at changing it potentially?
Not yet. And the reason I say that is there have been 3 separate moments coming this way where they have advanced them, right? And so maybe they're not as aplenty as they'd like, but they have been dominant in a couple of moments. You just have to believe that you can repeat that more often. And again, I go back to the mental side of when you're chasing so much. Okay, guys, now we go. You should have fun when you're winning this ball back and have the ability to go attack.
Vincent Ponce's pass scooped up by Visa. Wake's beginning to ready their first substitutions as Kennedy does come away with the ball. Wake will definitely run more bodies at you. That game at SMU, number of players. Flax in a lot of space here.
He'll hit that.
He will. He may right now. He waits for Lamb to hit the deck. Borso now floats it, looking for Kennedy again, headed down, appeals for a handball. And the Wake bench is up. You're up. You believe there may be a look at this, and Lucas Feathers can review, and he stopped the game, so I believe he will. He's about to make the motion, yes. He will take a look, because Kennedy's header came down off of Virginia body. The question is, was it Rome's arm? Rome looks a little guilty right now.
There's a ton of bodies as this ball comes back across our angle. It felt like it came off the arm, but again, there's just so much movement. Watch the left side. Absolutely. It's not even a question. And that you could see the dejected look of Austin Rome as the referee blew the whistle. The hand's just much too high. It's away from the body. And very similar movements, by the way, on a lot of these goal scoring when it's down to the byline. Recirculate or not, cut back across and you go. Well executed so far by Wake.
So for those watching, maybe like my mother that's wondering, he's so close. What if he couldn't move his arm? It's the unnatural position of his hand above his shoulder is the issue here, Devin, more than anything else.
Yeah, it's high. It's away from the body, right? When they say natural position, if you think you're running, okay, arms are, in theory, down by your side, right? But as the ball comes live and you basically become an out-and-out defender, right? You don't have the ability to go into 50-50. When it comes through, that arm's can only be one spot, and it's down by your side. But because that hand's up, it's above shoulder, it's away, you would be shocked to see this go another direction, unfortunately, if you're Austin Rome, because of the impact that it had on his hand. And there's some real good conversation going on, though, with Gelnovac and his team about how to adjust to this.
Take a look, because it is tough because it's so close, but again, it seems obvious that it's got to be a pen. Lucas Feathers comes out, and he's going to review and point to the spot. Unfortunate for Austin Rome. You feel bad for defenders in that situation. Devin, you were center back. I'm sure you felt it many a time, but he knew when it happened what had happened.
In the moment that we talked about, the way that Wake's been able to capitalize on those cutbacks as a defender when the ball's coming across your body, you're turning, your body's natural positioning has your left arm drag away from it to try and reestablish that. And am I coming up into the air to go in a header? Wait a second, am I continuing to shift? Real quick, you get yourself into a dicey situation where you think, oh yeah, I also got to keep my arms down. It's not a natural movement, but it is an unnatural position. Referee does a really good job to point to the spot 12 yards out.
So Cooper Flax takes the ball, 2 for 3 on the season. He buried his penalty in their penalty shootout against SMU, against Tom Miles here. Miles' first time he's facing a penalty this season. And this could be big. 2-0 game. That next goal is always huge. Can the Deeks make it 3? Flax, because he put pace on it, Miles guessed right, but blew it by him. The Deeks are running away with this semifinal. And celebrating with the faithful that have made the hour and 40-minute drive and are standing in the rain.
I'll take you back to the infraction on Austin Rome. Dylan Borso, you get the ball in front of him and allow him to attack the game. Wide areas, one-on-one situations, that's where he's at his best. Draws the back line just a little bit towards them, forces both defenders on the back post to shift a little bit. Akun, they're quick enough. Austin Rome's hand away from the body, as is this ball on the outside of Tom Miles. I'm not even sure if he would have touched it, if he would have been able to keep it out of the back of net. Left his line early as well, but the way that Cooper Flax attacks this thing, absolute venom. Look at him close himself down at the tail end of it. He's a precision type player. Classy, moving it side to side, really challenges you mentally with his distribution. But that right there, that's just all power, stinging it into the bottom corner and putting this thing on cruise control.
And they felt like they were at Spry Stadium. That's what they do at Spry. They score a pen, they run over there, they jump in it like Lambeau Leap-esque to the students that stand there. Well, a couple that have made their way to Carey got a little of that love as Flax scores again. Now laid off to Mangarov. Could UVA come back with something? Could be a chance. Good step there by Cummins. Now a couple subs on. One of them was Ryan Bilal, who he is in a battle with Nick Dang right now. And now Dang goes down, and now they will call the foul on Bilal. He was the goal scorer that tied up the game, the freshman, on the road at SMU. And Nick Dang, second-team All-League player, in a big-time fight.
Nick Dang baited him into it. I don't mind it, though. This is an emotional player. The Wahoos, a center back transfer from Lipscomb. He's really, really good defensively, but also he likes to take the game by the horns. He'll go right at you. He's very aggressive on the attacking side. He has no problem trying to chase the narrative of this game, bump himself up into the midfield, taking players on. A lot of space to open up for others.
Nice ball by Mponsa, played forward to Travis Smith Jr. as he charges forward. This made Jeffrey White's first touch of the ball when the pass shorted him. So White, the sophomore from Tampa, checked in. He's now at your right wing. Kennedy taking a little bit of break, and he's earned it. Julian Kennedy, he's been part of every goal. He scored the first goal. He assisted on the goal to Umar, and then he, off a great ball, his header is what generated the penalty for Flax to make it 3-0. How do you handle the emotions of this? If you're UVA, you come into this thing flying high, 8 of 9 wins, you just beat Pitt. You're thinking about winning an ACC championship. You're down 3-0 30 minutes into the game.
You're trying to get yourself into the locker room, I can tell you right now. There's great communication.
Great ball through to Borso, but good read by Visa. Borso's still on it, though. Can he dig out another cross? He's created problems. He floats it through, just gets flicked on. Akum gets it out far enough. Flax looked like he was going to line it up. Umar's pass picked off. Sorry, continue, Dave.
Well, you just get so frustrated and nothing's going your way. The ball's not bouncing your way, right? You think the referee's against you, although it was the right decision. Yeah. Mother Nature isn't helping your cause, and what do we have to do? You know, they're trying to do as much on the sideline right now as possible. George Kalnavach and his supporting staff just in front of us in the technical area. Just the guys, they're frustrated, you know?
You see Pella just grabbed Borso, but they said that Bilal was offside, so the play was negated.
And the problem you run into, Dallin, here is, yeah, of course it's the score and it's 3 goals, but in the world that we live in for college soccer, a lot of what these young men go through on a day-to-day basis is taking care of their bodies, trying to find a way to take care of their minds, and then you sprinkle in a little bit of coaching. Yeah. It's not the best of things, and one of the biggest gripes you hear from managers is, I wish I had more time with these guys.
It's so compressed.
And that's what it is right now, is you're trying to find a way to survive where, okay, could you have had more time to prep this game? I wish we had more time in the dressing room to talk about it, right? That's one of the situations that they're in. So it's only the second time this year that this Cavaliers team has given up more than 2 goals. The other one was Pitt, 4-1, just a few weeks ago. And while they came back with a vengeance in the second time they played them, this is about trying to get to the second half and produce results.
Over the top to White. He does touch it through, and Rome gets a lot of him. They said, no, Rome's... Lucas Feathers waves it off, said Rome got none of him. You mentioned more time, and Bobby Buse did say, like, he thinks his staff has done the best job altogether they've ever done, because the amount of hours they poured into this team with all the injuries. Because usually watching other teams play, he goes, I don't want to watch anybody.
I don't have time for that.
I don't have time. I'm locked in. And he said, he did to your point, he said the couple times we didn't have midweek games when we could prepare, I thought you saw a difference in our guys. And this game here didn't give you much time to prepare, but every coach wants that in college soccer, and maybe one day we'll get to the 21st century model where we're playing fall and spring, and benefits all around, but we'll see.
Gives you and I more time to prepare, too.
I know you'd love that. Your brain's just got to be at mush at this point. This dude watches more soccer than I can imagine across more leagues. Wake's getting to put in a quartet of substitutions right now. We'll get you those when they do come in. And one of them is being Liam O'Gara. That is relevant because we mentioned we put him on that injured graphic. He has not played all year, the freshman. The freshman, all-freshman team last year towards ACL in the spring, getting back to full fitness. Huge for him to get some minutes here and get his feet wet in the game where they have a little cushion as they move forward to the NCAA tournament. Because they're going there regardless of what happens the rest of this game or on Sunday. And a lot of contact there. Parker Sloan goes in hot. He's mad, but they're going to call the foul anyway. That's Hayes Wood, excuse me. And now here come your subs. And O'Gara coming in. When you're coming off an injury like this, Devin, knee injury, ACL injury, him coming in now, A, I think we're all happy to see him. B, what do you think he's thinking and feeling as he steps on the floor?
Why does it have to be raining?
I am sure, honestly, yeah.
Listen, the stability with an ACL injury is always something that you question. It happened 2 days before the Indiana tournament game last year. And the other thing about it is, in the modern world, is they're not going to throw him out there unless he's ready. So strength training, right, minute workload in practice sessions overall. And, they build the confidence. Said that he was so good at controlling the midfield for Wake Forest last year. And that touch right there tells you a little bit about where his head's at right now. Super clean to start. And this is a luxury that you have, too, because not only is it 3-0 and you can get him some minutes, but also you can play to him a little bit more right now. You can come in and see, okay, how exactly does he feel comfort level-wise on the ball? First 3 touches, really well done.
Monty Thomas there came in for Bo Cummins. He just played it back to Trace Alfin. Nico Rabiu, the sophomore, he came in for Dylan Borso, the freshman. 7 that just entered your picture there in black. Flip forward to Wood, back to Mangaroff. Visa.
Look at how deep he is, though.
Have you fouled there?
The run comes.
Oh, wait, no, there's a Wake player down. Danny Kruger just went down and grabbed his leg at the top of the 18. He went down in a heap. He needs help immediately. That's not what you want at all. This freshman, born in Germany, grew up at some academies there, and then came to the Union, primarily the Philadelphia Union Academy product. And we mentioned already, he should have been ACC all-freshman team. He wasn't, which is crazy. It's never good when you go down on your own.
He's off the ball, away from everything. Just watch the right side of your screen. He's already limping a little bit there, which leads me to believe that it happened prior to what you're seeing play out. Part of that growing process that we talked about for Wake Forest this year, the back line, and there's a motion right there from Prince Mponsa to the sideline that he is going to need a change. Weren't necessarily sure who the running mate was going to be. I'd say that really at a lot of the positions back here. They lost Christian Escobarano.
Yeah. We were there for that game at Clemson, which was a horrific injury. Had to be your senior captains. And this has become part of their season. They just have dealt with so many injuries, and you hope Kruger's okay as he limps his way off. Now, this is the first half. If he's okay, he can re-enter the match in the second half if they, in fact, do sub him, and they have not as of yet.
One of the good things that Bobby Muse does have, though, is he's got a wealth of individuals out the outside back spot right now, which means that you can just take Travis Smith Jr., and it sounds so easy, right? Just slide him over. In theory, it's a quick plug and play.
Which is, to your point, that's exactly what they did. You see Smith down the middle of the field. Thomas Mencia checks in. Senior from Chile. Came in and gave them some pretty good minutes against SMU. He looked a little questionable, as even Bobby admitted to. Defensively, there's some issues there, but he came in, played the ball in that actually ended up being Bilal's goal to equalize things. So the senior from Chile in the lineup now. Smith me as a former guy in the back line, what is that transition going from an outside back to tucking into the middle? How challenging is that as Wood is offside?
I only played one position for a reason down.
So you are not versatile. You do not want to create value with versatility. Good to know.
You want me to go stand where? You know, there's actually a really funny story going through the professional trials. I can remember going out to the Seattle Sounders in 2008. I'm going to date myself here. And
we're old, bro.
Brian Schmetzer was then in charge of what was the USL team. Of course, now he's in charge of the MLS team. And I can remember standing with him on the sideline after playing a lot of minutes at center back. And he said, "I'm going to try out outside back." And I was like, you know what? I don't see it. I don't know if it's me. 2 days later, I was on a bus home.
Let's say, yeah, probably not the best thing to say.
I dated it again by bus. It was a plane ticket, to be fair. But all jokes,
a long Greyhound they put you on.
All jokes aside, the way that, to me, it's always about tendencies with players. And you have guys who can make that transition no problem, right? They're the 6th, they're the 8th, they're outside marking back. They're such an asset for a team because of the wide variety of positions they can make. But that's the mental battle you have to face, because if you're Travis Smith Jr., you were just playing outside back where you recognize where the moments were for Mangrove, how to pass him to the inside. Now it's totally different. It's, okay, where's Hayes Wood? Where do we keep an eye on him? Where's the overlapping run coming from the far side and Parker Sloan? Do I have any advancement coming up? It's not really 1 or 2. Now you're looking at 4 different spaces and individuals that can hurt you. Just come down to communication.
What I heard there was, I'm a diva. And
yeah.
Dallin's not. See, I'm talking third person now. See, Coach says to me, play this, take this role. I'm in there, Coach. I'm doing whatever you want. You? I'm good.
I'll play the 6. I'll play the 8. I'll go play in goal.
Guys, I'll go play midfield. I'm not going out to that outside back spot. I'm not doing that. Okay.
You get yourself closer to Coach, you get more in trouble.
Diva. Flax stands over it to play it in here as the Demon Deacons up 3-0. 3 goals in the first 30 minutes of this ACC Men's Soccer Championship semifinal. Winner of Cal Clemson waiting to wins. That game comes up 30 minutes after we conclude here. Flax, dangerous on the dead balls. Plays it short to Fessler. Back to Impanza. Back to Flax. Now he may serve the box. He does. And down went Bilal. Bilal saying there was a touch that it went through, and Lucas Feathers, the official, disagrees. Let's tell you about some hoops then. It is started, and featured men's basketball game this weekend right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. Doubleheader tomorrow night. Starts 6 Eastern. Sunshine State rivalry. Florida, number 20 in the nation, taking on Florida State. The Noles started off 3-0. This is a big step up in class to take on the Gators, followed by number 10, North Carolina, hosting American at Dean Smith Center, just 10 miles down the road here. And Saturday at noon Eastern, freshman phenoms Cooper Flax and Con Knipple. We're putting Con in the mix now, too. Cooper will be a future number 1 overall pick. Con will be a lottery pick. Check out Duke coming off a tough loss. They take on Wofford at 6 o'clock, noon, on Saturday. And that Duke team lost a tough game to a very old Kentucky team at the State Farm Champions Classic on Tuesday. North Carolina obviously lost a tough game to KU, so I feel bad for both those mid-major opponents. They may have a rough one. Akun, back to Lamb. Dang coming forward. He is dangerous in that. Looking for the ball through. Alphen off his line. Scoops it. UVA yet to make a sub out here. Wake's got only Impanza and Flax in their starting lineup. Still on the pitch. Rabiu. Got options. Now he tries to play it wide to Wayward. Miles will take the goal kick, excuse me.
It's free.
It is free. These are true. Mancia looking long. Back to Miles. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but how does this weather impact the game that's coming up later with Cal and Clemson to play on this pitch.
Ironic you ask. We've actually been kind enough to send someone down to the fourth officials table, and we will have the groundskeeper at halftime.
Is it Bill Murray?
Well, I got to tell you that the pitch is interesting. This is one of the best fields you're going to get an opportunity to play on as a college player. Certainly the rotation that over the next couple of years will be the Men's College Cup. We've seen it in the past here before, but it has had moments, most notably, and you and I were talking about this pregame in 2019.
Yeah.
The College Cup that saw the top right side of your screen, the back corner, just absolutely obliterated by all the water that came through. The groundskeeping crew did an incredible job of cleaning it up just to be able to play the game. There was talks of delaying it.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, we're not at Stoke City, we're not at Liverpool. This is Cary, North Carolina, with driving rain for about hour 6 here right now.
And the divots that can pop up and guys losing their footing. The goalkeeping area is probably one of the bigger ones, right, with all the traction going on.
You can see it right now behind Alpha in there. It's kind of dug up.
Yep, wear and tear. And in moments for them, right, because they have to plant so hard to try and find the way to explode.
How about Freddie Kiger with our? We have 6 slips out here, all Wake Forest.
How's the step by Nick Dang?
Dang coming forward, out wide to Mangaroff. Mencia defending. Clips it in, headed down by Impansa. Not out, though.
Good tackle.
Great tackle. Oh. Tough. Gashi. We both thought that was clean. The junior from Sweden. One of their captains.
Again, because of the weather, they haven't had the ability to actually get there a little bit sooner. This is something that's given them a ton of success down, and you can't convince me that that's a foul. There's no chance. Studs are away from the player, catches the outside of the foot, gets only the ball. That's well done by Gashi. A bit unfortunate.
Rabiu trying to hold out Bisa, and nobody was short here. And then finally, Matthew Mercier says we're going to go with the Deeks. Under 1:45 to play in the first half. Pass maybe left short, and Ponce just steps up to boot it. As Gashi was closing, Akun brings it down. He might bring it down for Bilal.
Easy.
Whoa. And now that turnover. Oh, Thomas cleared out, but he gets up okay, and there was no call there as Rome got all ball and then body after. Interesting, that's not a foul, but the foul on Gashi the other way. Okay.
Play quick. Tempo has just got to be faster here for the Cavaliers. Slow in decision making, and when the opportunities have presented themselves, just haven't been quick enough on the draw to release it. You know, you mentioned to me earlier, at what point in time do you look for a stylistic change? Here's the problem that you run into, is positionally with the personnel that they have, and Victor Akun and Osterum on the back line. You can't really go to a 3 with either one of them, which means if you bring one off, you've kind of pigeonholed yourself to someone. So you have to take a long, hard look at your personnel and decide, okay, who am I willing to give a chance to here in the second half? And if we have to change again, who has the capability of doing so?
Ball goes end to end, almost. Whoa, almost a miscommunication between Wood and Alphen and Travis Smith Jr. As we tick down, Wake 3-0-0 and leading at the half. As we mentioned, this team played from behind a lot more this year. They conceded first 11 times. Not today. Up 3-0 at the break. Things started, Julian Kennedy, and he had a hand in every goal, Devin. This is one of the best 45 minutes the Deeks have potentially
to help provide support on both sides of the ball.
And now we're underway, and Wake also has a number of changes in the match, too. We'll go through some of those. There's Beauvoir. Smith now getting in. Back to Gashi, right to Lamb. Here comes UVA. Skips off Cummins. First time shot. Okay. That is a good start by UVA right off the whistle. So you've got Paris Mitchell, number 9 in black, has joined the fray up top. He's, again, one of their strikers. So that freshman there trying to flick it on. At 16, Joel Torbick, freshman, another freshman. Torbick was excellent in that game at SMU, playing in the midfield. Colin Thomas, one of the starters, comes down to the ball. Jeffrey White picks off the pass. Now, we should say, too, UVA has two of their attackers, Joaquin Brizuela, who's been their starting 9 most of this run through their 8 wins in 9 matches. He's carrying a bit of an injury as A.J. Smith's touch was heavy, but falls to Mangarov. And Amani Thomas gets it up to Flax. Brizuela's carrying injury, as is David Okori, who scored what was the game-winning goal in that comeback win against NC State. So not having all their options either. Smith. Nice job to dispossess him by Fessler. And you've got a UVA player down on the deck. One of the captains, maybe Pela, I cannot tell through the rain.
It's Visa.
Oh, it's Paul Visa. Yeah, he is deadly with that right foot. The senior from Germany. One of the all-time assist leaders at UVA. He's now 7th by himself with 26 assists. Magical right foot. He's got 4 assists in the last 5 games. We'll see if he can pull something off here and start to make this thing a little tighter for the Deeks. Mangarov on it too, and Visa may walk away as he's limping still. Mangarov to take. Kind of skips through, but goes to Alvin. Amani Thomas's ball goes through to Petruni, his first touch of the match. Good to see him back healthy. Come off that head injury against NC State. Fessler pressures Pela and a little extracurriculars. Pela pushes off on Torbic. Gashi on it now. Looks around, starts play up again. Rome back to Lamb. Pela. That is just pure mud down there. You can see it on the white uni. Sloppy track now.
These are my favorite games and training sessions. Little slip and slide. Some people pay good money for that.
His mother was a mother. His father was a mother. His mother was a mother? What'd I say? For those Seinfeld fans out there, we digress. Anyway.
Good header. Well done by Brendan Lamb.
Lamb. Back to Smith. Beauvoir. Gashi cuts it back to Pela. The roommates and partners in central midfield. Mangarov, nice reverse pass. Lamb may be able to get there. Can't. Pela skips it through. Lamb can't sort it out. Deflected, and Alfin, he's out to get it. And now Lucas Feathers comes running in. Does call the foul and has a little word with Lamb. Mitchell brings it down. And it looked like that skipped off the hand of Pela. It did. Visa, excuse me. So if you're awake, it's human nature of 3-0. It's driving rain. It's 45 degrees here. You've got a final on Sunday. How do you not look forward to that? How do you manage this game?
Well, see, to me, it's not about looking forward to the final. It's within the next 45, what way are you going to go express yourself? I was always a big fan of managers who said, let's go get more.
Yeah.
Right? Let's go chase the game. Let's make them feel really bad about what went on in the first half and just apply it in the second. And ironically, that's something that the Cavaliers took away from that Pitt game where they felt embarrassed coming off the field, right? They said that they made us feel really bad about the performance, which is why we were so much better the second time around. So I like aggression. I like the ability to attack. You know, in the modern world, there are a lot of different looks you get, and that's a big turnover.
And Thomas is on it. He's got options. Back post. Thomas leaves it. Oh, what a save by Petruni! White tried to caress it into the net. And Petruni lays out and keeps this thing at 3-0.
The entire staff beside themselves, but he just slips on the backside. There's pressure for sure from Thomas, but the way he explodes, unselfish. Watch him wait till the last moment to bring 3v1 in to play the ball back across. And then Joey Petruni. I mean, this was game, set, match. There's no coming back from 4. To dig his feet down in, come all the way back across and make this type of save. Beautifully taken by the goalkeeper.
Now, Lucas Feathers is pulling this back. He's stopping the game because when the turnover happened, there was contact, I believe, between Paris Mitchell and one of the defenders that went down. And he's going to take a look and see if there was anything violent conduct, because it did create the opportunity in some regard.
Again, the problem is the coaching staff had actually stepped right in front of us here, and I couldn't see. From the first replay, what we saw on the angle, I didn't think there was enough in it, but again, some of it's clouded. It was pretty wide. And Colin Thomas and infraction on the near touchline. Watch right here as you come down in. That's
it was Nick Dang and tied up with Paris Mitchell. And you see Mitchell getting up. I mean, you see Paris Mitchell. So we can show you in the break here. We're able to identify. Feathers said we're fine. We're moving on, which is the right call, and we'll show you why in a second. Flax to take. Good service back post. Prince arriving, but Rome is there, and he heads it out. We'll take a quick look as they set up the corner. Wake's not in any rush. Now take a look in the middle of your screen.
No. Certainly not violent. Foul, you could definitely make an argument for, but not violent by any sense of the word.
Which is the problem, because I thought in live action, I thought it was a foul, but they didn't play on. Now, when you go back and look at it, you can't upgrade it to, you could, if you thought it was violent, you could upgrade it to
and I thought they were looking at the first one down here, just in front of us.
Gotcha. Torbeck takes it, whips it in. Whoa! Oof. Went for the spectacular Paris Mitchell did. Talk about expressing yourself, huh? Back out to Torbeck. He's got a dangerous left foot. Whips it in, and it's going to tuck in. Just skipped through the freshman. Gave great minutes against SMU, couldn't score. Well, he did in this game. 4-0 Deeks.
This will definitely be Torbeck's first of the season. And again, one of the things that you want as a coach in moments like this, meaning the weather, be dangerous, be aggressive, and just challenge guys. Make them go make a play. You're trying to put this into a danger area. You've got bodies up high. It's actually not the best of balls because of the angle. It's a difficult one to try and bring down there for Jeffrey Wright. He's coming on a diagonal, near impossible. He just wants a little redirect. The marking's not tight enough. But the fact that you don't get the touch on it is everything. Bobby Muse saying that this is certainly one of the teacher's pets, everything that he does in training, what he brings to push the starting 11 on a regular basis. Well, he may have just pushed them into the title game.
From State College, Pennsylvania, but he played a lot of his soccer growing up. The Barso Residency Academy out in Arizona, lived out there, grew up in that academy, and you could see when he came in the game against SMU, him on the ball was really good. It's unfortunate, it's been that kind of night for UVA where Petruni makes that insane save. Just amazing save on the doorstep with Jeff White. And then that goes in, just skips through some bodies and goes in the back of the net. Tough night for the Cavs. Mangarov trying to dig out a cross. Does. Alfin gets a hand to it. Jeffrey White steps up. Clears it out. Sloan is on it.
Like behind here, man.
Good cross by Visa, just a little too tall. Falls to Smith, and Alphen's out there again. The rain, so I'm looking at the radar. The rain is starting to move out. It's still driving here. We wonder how it'll affect the second game because it obviously has had a massive effect on the first. Torbic. No calls. He turns it over. Gashi on it. Lamb. Looking for options. Finds Gashi. Trying to switch. Basically played it to White. He'll try to break out. Can't control it. Being told by the great Freddie Kiger, rain likely to end between 7 and 7:30, so we are there. Ball played in. Opportunity for Beauvoir. Hold on. What a finish. He's been hot. Scored that goal against NC State to equalize. And then, bear in mind, folks, both times they've scored in this ACC tournament, they scored again within 30 seconds.
And one of the bigger trump cards coming into this positional change had to be Parker Sloan, who's an attacking winger by nature, but you play him off the back line, he's certainly going to have the ability from a linear nature to get up high. And the way that he drags the space off the first ball, that allows the runners up high to drop defensively. That's why the front line has to shift over quicker. That allows Paul Visa to get this thing into the box. And really well timed by Triton Beauvoir in transition to be able just to get himself on the end of it on the redirect, yet alone as clean as it was to draw one back.
Visa's 27th assist in his career.
I can remember being in Charlottesville in 2022 for a home game, and I remember George Galnavach saying he's one of the most talented individuals I've ever had in terms of his distribution for the outside. One of the best right foots I've ever had, 40 yards in, and his ability to pick out players with pinpoint accuracy.
He said it many, world-class service, and you ain't lying, but that was also a world-class finish by Beauvoir. We'll see if they can keep coming back into this game. We talked about the resiliency of this squad, the toughness of this squad. They do not give up. They're not walking quietly into that good night. They will keep battling. Remember, UVA played one of the craziest games in recent memory in college soccer here, the 3-3 final, national final between Georgetown that you called. Ended up being in penalties. Georgetown wins 7-6. That game was just, the swings in that game were unbelievable.
I'm still falling out from it.
I mean, of course, it came back to you being cold.
I mean, this is wet and cold, but that was darn near freezing at that point in time. But yeah, I mean, just up until recently, did they not have a player from that squad remaining? That's a good little touch to the side.
Lamb on it. Got options forward. Try to play it through to Mangaroff. He wants a handball. Great tackle by Mangaroff, and he just earned a...
Corner. Gotta be.
No. I thought it was too. Lucas Feathers gave a long look and then went the other way.
What did we say, though? Galnavach said it. We said it going into the dressing room. Belief, intensity. Just have the belief that you can go and at least keep yourself relevant within this game. They've already drawn one back. Tackles like this. A second one put in by Mangaroff coming back across the body. That's a corner. Well done by Daniel Mangaroff, someone who, as good as this team has been at the end of every single season, they might have struggled early on again this year, but 3 years in a row, this team basically 500 midway through the season. Tweak themselves a little bit. Sometimes it's a single position, maybe within goal. Sometimes it's your players that you have to move within the midfield. Guys like Daniel Mangaroff, Umberto Pela, that were a part of those groups that allowed them to then 8-10 games to go find a way to explode. They went from really bubble teams down to moving their way into top 8 seeds come NCAA tournament time. Friendly reminder, their RPI 7 coming into this semifinal. And just ridiculous down the stretch.
Because we talked about Cal's at the break going from 59 to 28. I mean, but this went from 29 to 7, or 28 to 7. So in conversations of being, we feel good about where we are in the bubble or right above the bubble to being in a position to host an NCAA tournament game. But we're not done here. Beauvoir, can he make it 2? What a block. Big time play by Amani Thomas. But this looks like a different Cavalier outfit right now.
It's pretty amazing the way that they've been able to shift this back line. Much quicker ball movement, numbers up high. It's less predictable than what we saw in the first half, and just to cap off the belief that has been this team's ability to close down the stretch. 8 wins in their last 9 games, 8-1-0. It's tied for most in the top 25 over the last 9 with Penn and Clemson. Clemson, the only team in the top 25 when it comes to RPI who have a better record, and they're 8-0-1. Obviously, they'll be doing battle here in about an hour time with Cal.
The fact that Clemson's still 15 in the RPI.
Unreal.
There are some, RPI I think by and large does a pretty good job. It's been
well, this team going from,
it's a little squirrely the last couple weeks.
28-7?
28 to, and then well, the Cal's wins I get for them to go up, but when you're now in 7, you went from being not in the conversation, you're in the conversation to get in, to now hosting a game, being top 16. Yeah. I'm not saying UV doesn't deserve what they've done. It's just really amazing how that happens after 2 games. Pela on it. They're not done here yet. They're going to keep creating chances. Mangarov's pass is too much on it. We'll break in the action, tell you about 3 till 12 ACC Network football lineup. Saturday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Number 19 Louisville taking on Stanford, their first ever meeting, and we'll cap the night with North Carolina hosting Wake Forest at 8 o'clock. Both games available on ESPN and the ESPN app. You can watch, or available on ACC Network and the ESPN app, I should say, as that goes through to Petrini. We'll see if Omarion Hampton can get 8 straight games of 100 rushing yards. It's never happened in North Carolina history as they take on the Demon Deacons. Start and stop there by Beauvoir.
Good defending.
Nice job by Smith, yeah. But now Smith playing out of position. Injury to Danny Kruger. Probably the one dark spot of the night here for Wake Forest so far. Just pushed their left back into center back. And Kruger, the talented freshman, out of this game. Prince Mpansa back to Trace Alphen, second team all-league keeper. Over everybody's head, back to Petrini. Beauvoir thought he was offside. He was lying. Oh, now I don't know what Lucas Feathers called the offside. Finally, Kevin Guido put his flag up too.
Got my own flag. It's called a whistle.
Exactly. I have control here. The rain is definitely increasing here, as it's supposed to be stopped. The front is moving out, but it's going down with a fight, it looks like. A.J. Smith on it. Beast on the overlap, busting it. Got that dangerous right foot. Here we go again. Deflected. Out for a corner. Second of the match for the Hoos. Played quickly. Dangerously to the back post. Appeals for a penalty as Dang was there, not going to be given. Dang is their leading goal scorer from the center back spot. That's Pella, pardon me, who scored on the header last game against Pitt.
Triton Beauvoir having a great impact here in the second half. Really busy up top, making it difficult for Travis Smith Jr. and Prince Mpansa to not only figure out where he's going to try and attack this game, but it's opening up space for A.J. Smith on the far side. Most importantly, though, the wings. Brendan Lamb and Paul Visa on that right-hand side. Again, you can talk tactics all you want. Sometimes just having options, right? And certainly that comes into the tactical conversation, but you get higher. Okay, you're making Wake work more defensively. You give yourself the chance to not chase the entire time and have some fun with mental warfare going the other way.
And a foul called on Deke, so this should be a chance if they want to play it in. Not a bad spot for Mangrove or Visa, but Visa's not over it. Mangrove is.
Whoa,
Flax
that
just
is off
pulled
the
down.
ball.
What is he doing?
I mean, that is.
Lucas Feathers told him to get up, but okay. And now Lamb's going back to say something to Feathers, like, you gotta look at that.
I mean,
he's not going
Watch
to.
Cooper Flax right atop the 18. That's a foul in the box. He literally takes both arms, wraps them around Brendan Lamb, and then pulls him to the ground. Right around his neck. What are we discussing right now?
I have no idea. That's wild.
He got away with one there. That's very fortunate for Cooper Flax.
I like to think I don't usually have like a break of consciousness with the mic in front of me, but I think I just said what's going on here, like as it happened. Like, what was that?
How do you miss that?
I don't know. And then, honestly, I thought that UVA did not protest hard enough. Lamb did, because he knew what happened. But maybe some of the guys didn't see it, but it's unfortunate for the Who's.
Well, they're probably not asking for the replay for greatest hits at this point in time. But
no, but for that, you take a pen. Now, more subs now readying for the Deacons to come back in. It's a number of starters coming back on the pitch. Now, this is going to be first yellow match, and it's Dang battling Paris Mitchell. And now we've got a quartet of subs again coming on as Dang thinks about his yellow. You've got Dylan Borso, 8 coming on in black. He's had a very good game out in that left wing. The freshman Basit Umar right there, number 22. Back you see Paris Mitchell, Jeffrey White, Brian Fessler, and Joel Torbeck all taking a seat. Julian Kennedy, who's had a huge impact in this game, a goal, an assist, and created a penalty. Played short. Here's Kennedy again. Is it out wide? Flax is on it. Travis Smith. Back to Bo Cummins. Umar, the 1-2 with Borso, can't get it. Umar goes down. Now he's saying that Gashi pushed him. There feels like this is a 2-1 game more than a 4-1 game.
There's no 3 goals separating these two teams.
Yeah.
I give him credit, though, that you're a Cavalier player, the amount of adversity you face that you haven't backed off the match.
Yeah, they have not.
Anything you can ask for as a coach, at least he'll go and compete. Pride is everything. Something that both coaches, right, in the journey this year, trying to kind of teach them of the historical value. Not everybody fully aware, we'll say, was probably the nicest way to put it.
They were 2-4-3, this UVA team at one point, and they were about to play their rival Virginia Tech, and one of the few times in the history of that rivalry where the Hokies were the ranked team and UVA was not. Matt Chulis, one of the assistant coaches for UVA, played in the late 90s, outstanding defender, had played on teams that have won everything. Had to tell these guys what this is about. It was alumni weekend against Virginia Tech. We're 2-4-3. These 7 stars mean something. Here's what we're about. You guys got to go show it. They took it to heart. They carried that forward and have built that run now where they've won 8 of 9. So these guys now get what that UVA crest means, and they're representing it. Despite being down 4-1, they are fighting, to say the least. And because of their fight, in all honesty, after senior night, Adam Perone told us, these guys are sitting on the field thinking they're never going to play here again. Mangarov sitting there and looking around and thinking about it. They said, no, we're going to get you guys back here. We're going to win more games. Yeah. Go for it. And that's where they're at. They're at a chance of hosting, they're a chance of getting seeded, first of all, and then a chance of definitely hosting a game if they don't get a top 16 seed, which gets you a bye in a guaranteed hosting situation. They also played any given Sunday before that game. Al Pacino helps hit his thing. Lonnie Thomas wheeling away, finding the foot of Kennedy. Kennedy's been a handful today. Gets off a good cross, and Rome was out there just in time to clear it. Back to Mpansa. Smith. Cummins. And Borso loses his footing. Second ball falls to Flax, though.
Clean.
Well done by Pella, though, to pick his pocket. He's got space. He's looking for options and finds Mangarov in the middle. Mangrove lays it off to Lamb. He's got the big target of A.J. Smith there to Mangrove again. Cut back, both. Whoa! Deflects just wide. They continue to put together chances. Third corner of the match. Visa is not 100% as he kind of limps over there slowly. This usually is his time. He will take the corner, but he's struggling a little bit.
Taking the corner kick to Virginia, number 4, Paul Visa.
Visa headed down, Alpha.
Well, one of the players that did get a big snub on the season accolades was Prince Mponsa, not named. Watch the way he shifts back over. I mean, such a good job locking down A.J. Smith and then squaring himself up.
Monty Thomas has carried this all the other way on his own from the left back spot. They now pull it out, under 22 and a quarter minutes to play. This is usually when Wake shines in terms of their goals. 14 goals in the campaign as Umar comes forward in the last 20 minutes. 85% of their goals were in the second half overall. But they did their business in the first half for the most part. 3 of the 4 in the first half. Added 1 to make it 4-0. Virginia's got 1 back, and that's where we stand right now.
The way that Cavaliers have closed their... Whoa, that's a high tackle. Studs up.
Gashy's furious, but he's definitely going to get carded now.
And the stud's just away from the body, up too high. Been unfortunate, and that is... Woof. It's really fortunate that there's not more out of it. I will say that the one thing you have to say here, and people at home could probably have some questions, is he is making a play on the ball there. He's not kicking out at the player.
Yeah. So Gashi goes in the book, excuse me. Him and Dang now carrying yellows in this match. Colin Thomas and Lamb couldn't control it. Lost a little footing. The roll out, Cummins will let it go. Cummins finally throws, looking for Kennedy.
Bad clearance.
Balls over Perez, and he pulled it just wide.
That's a difficult one for Brendan Lamb. He's just trying to make a play on the ball, and as he's tracking back, right-sided player that's trying to flick it back on comes straight down Route 1. Very fortunate. Don't get anything out of it.
Julian Kennedy juggles on the sideline. He's been integral today as we tick under 20 minutes and 30 seconds to play. We're at WakeMed Soccer Park, Salem Stadium here in Cary, North Carolina. That's Devin Kerr. I'm Dallin Cuff. 4-1 is the lead for the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, the semifinal number 1 of the ACC Men's Soccer Championship as A.J. Smith goes running down the channel. Winner of this game will get the winner of Cal Clemson coming up about 40 minutes after we go off air. But all ACC has you. Don't leave the network. We'll keep you locked in. We'll preview the next game. Get you all the ACC updates you need to know around the conference as we head into a college football weekend, too. Lisa goes forward.
Good ball.
Dangerous ball played in. Nobody making the run down the back post. Cummins then off of Lamb, out for a goal kick. And that Cal-Clemson game is truly remarkable. If you're just tuning in, Cal has been on an unbelievable run. They've won 5 of their last 7. 4 of those games over ranked teams, the top 16 of the RPI, on the road. Their rival Stanford, they beat the number 1 team in the nation, Pitt, on their field to start that off, that run. They beat Carolina in Carolina. They beat Duke at Duke in this tournament. They have come here on November 4th. They haven't left. They've been here for 8 days now. They told their professors, Devin, they told them before they took the trip, if we go on a run, we're not coming back. So they proctored exams here, had study hall every day. Cal's an 11 seed. 11 seed's never been in the semifinal. So we've got something special there. And Cinderella carrying her slipper, trying to slay another giant, and that giant is the defending ACC and national champs, the Clemson Tigers. I mean, you can't write the story any better than that.
Good move.
Kennedy on it again. Tried to give a little curl to the corner, didn't come off well.
That was Mike Noonan, though, saying, yeah, they got our attention.
He ain't lying.
The Clemson Tigers, so that
They got our full attention.
We are not taking them lightly. Had the scouting report on point when we had our chat with him earlier today.
Because it is noted, like, they beat Pitt. Everybody was like, oh, they beat Pitt. They beat a Stanford team that's struggling, but Stanford's number is still great. Okay. But you go on the road to UNC, they're going to lose that game, right? No. They go down. They win 2-1. It was an impressive performance.
You're going to go to Duke. You're going to lose that game, right? No.
No, 2-0. And you controlled it, from the offset. You scored early on an own goal. You capitalized another one. So, yeah, this is not a fluke situation here. As comes forward. Big strike. Oof. Just north of the goal there for Mangarov.
Again, though, coming off of this relationship that is Parker Sloan and Paul Visa on the far side, just the way that they've come up high in the overlaps, and Visa creates the contact. That's the patience of a winger right there. And Parker Sloan to slow things down, allow what would normally be an overlapping run on this comfortable left side for him to Mangarov get him high on that left foot. It's not that far off.
Gashi wins the ball.
Stay in it, 18 to go. Stay tight on your marks. Give yourself the ability to go and get another one back. Again, the best that you've seen out of this team down the stretch that has been 9 games. Down in the dumps tonight to pull themselves back out of it. Staying high on the wood. Brendan Lamb, Paul Visa allow Mangarov and Gashi to come in and start to pressure. You've got to move this midfield to have success. Much better in the second half, but a long way to go.
Back to Perez. Finds Colin Thomas. Umar. Borso. Thomas again. Borso can't make the run. And gets to it. Gashi looking for Smith, lets it run across his body, almost was able to feed it through. Comes to Beauvoir, nice ball. Visa tried to play it through to Mangarov, Alfin to catch. And Ponta. Umar wins the race past Lamb, now he's out wide to Cummins. Back to Umar in the middle, he's got Kennedy to the left, plays Thomas to the right. Options, a lot of black shirts. Trying to play it out of its boot. Oh, Thomas goes down, and that's a pen. Again, that type of night for UVA, and Austin Rome has now committed his second offense in the box that's going to lead to a penalty. The first was an unfortunate handball. Here, looks like a clumsy challenge as Thomas is struggling to get to his feet.
I mentioned you coming in, though, total football this Wake Forest team is just watch the way, how clean they are. Watch on the outside, takes 2 to come in. Basit Umar, it's a dangerous one, but he does try and get gritty. He just ushers the thing to the outside. Again, kids at home, standing foot, your first touch is vertical. It makes everybody continue their path defensively. You don't allow them to set. And yes, it's not the best ball on the first one coming back across, but Thomas continues his run. The ball gets away from Rome on the back line. It's an opportunity to finish in a different manner because it's a penalty.
Yeah.
But they just went 85 yards in 7 touches, 6 passes. That's about as efficient as you can be in this game.
Now, Cooper Flax made the penalty in the first half, going down to the keeper's right. That was Tom Miles, a different keeper, with Petruni in net. Goes top left of the keeper. 5-1. Deeks.
Now you're pushing, you're applying pressure up high. You're trying to find a way to grab another one back that's going to open up more space, and they make you pay. Beautiful end-to-end football as it comes back across. Not the greatest of touches for Rome. Difficult in the weather. Thomas continues forth. Cooper Flax from the spot again. Goes the other direction. From the first whistle. Really hard to say that there has ever been a doubt for this Wake team. They have been fantastic throughout this match.
Wake will get back in position. They will make 3 subs, though. Colin Thomas, the man that generated the penalty, got a little hitch in his giddy-up as he comes off. Smith is going to come off as well. Travis Smith Jr. makes an exit. And Cooper Flax getting a lot of love. When the co-captain, he was applauding the fans that made this trek and hung out there as he celebrated him with not once but twice, with 2 goals from the penalty spot. And he'll get a rare seat on the bench. He does not come out of many games, but we have the final coming your way Sunday, noon Eastern on ESPNU. So rest is critical for this Demon Deacon team. There were 15 teams in this tournament now. Everybody but Pitt. Pitt lost their first game, as Alphen's going to corral this. Had to go 4 games in just about 14 days to win this thing.
How's this, by the way? You got 15 minutes to go in this semifinal. 5 goals on the night. Bobby Muse, he hasn't cleared the bench by any means, but to your point, rotating. Keep everybody fresh and hungry for the final. Guy's taking a little bit long to get back behind the center circle. He's screaming at him. Hey, hey, heads back in it. Let's go. Right? Job's not done.
Because UVA has been dangerous this half. They only have 1 goal to show for it, but they have knocked on the door quite a bit.
Gotta love the hunger from Wake Forest and Bobby Muse. Cooper Flax in full command of the midfield tonight.
See Liam O'Gara back in the game. Remember the freshman, all-freshman team last year. It's his first action of the season, coming off an ACL tear in the spring. Ball played in. Alphen sizing it up, was able to bring it down. Nico Rabiu came in as well. And Thomas Mencia. So as Alphen holds the ball. It is hoop season, folks. But we're going to tell you about more football. ACC Huddle starts the day of the special, starts Saturday at special time, 2 Eastern from UNC. Here in Chapel Hill, 90-minute pregame show leading to Louisville, Stanford at 3:30, then back at 6:30 to wrap up the afternoon with highlights and analysis to get you set for Wake at North Carolina at 8 after the game. Stay right here on ACC Network for all your highlights and post-game analysis, and this is not good. Thomas Mencia is going to go in the book.
That was a rough challenge on Bagashi. Studs just in from behind. Oh, on that ankle. Mencia.
Senior from Chile. His mom, his pedigree, his mom was a soccer player. She played at Yale. We got a lot of changes for UVA now. Maybe George Galnavach looking forward a little bit and saying, let's call off some of the dogs and some of the key guys coming out. Nick Dang coming out, Daniel Mangarov, Brendan Lamb. And rotating in some different pieces here as this UVA team will be playing in the NCAA tournament. The question is, when will they get a top 16 seed? A loss like this does not help your RPI. Remember, they shot from the back of the 20s up to 7. Losing 5-1 on a neutral is going to hurt that. We'll see where they end up. Likely hosting a game at Klockner Stadium. The question is, they have a bye or not. 48 teams make the tournament. Top 16 get a bye in the first round. Luke Mikula came in for Nick Dang, 21 on the back. Luke Burns, one of your attackers, came in. Kome Abogu, another attacker, 18 up top. Burns, 31 in white. And Cesar Cordova replaced Paula Bisa. Alex Parvu also checked in a few minutes ago, as you mentioned. Play back to Alphen. Monty Thomas goes down, no call, turns it over. That's Cordova on it. And Burns, their first couple touches of the game. Basit Umar trying to get it up to Rabiu. Austin Rome wins that, plays it back to Petruni. He'll just blast it out. Cordova will get there. Ricochets off Burns for a throw. Now, Bobby Musil, as you mentioned earlier, he'll start to look like clear his bench a bit, go to some subs, some that have featured, some that don't get as many minutes. Back to Gashi, and out of play. Here come a couple subs. Ryan Bilal has already played in this game, but a couple that are interesting here. You've got 25, Will Jackson, the freshman, and then 24, Mason Sullivan, the other freshman. He was in the penalty situation against SMU. He was their 6th penalty taker. He didn't play a minute. Stepped up, ice in his veins, drills it just after his teammate Jackson had missed it, and Jackson would have ended it. That freshman, he struggled, he misses. Sullivan steps up, buries his. Lamar Bynum for SMU misses. Here we are, Wake moves forward.
That's the communication coming on right now. You don't have the luxury to miss right now, my friend, with 12 minutes to go and trying to solidify what has been a really complete performance for the Demon Deacons.
Jackson replaces Bo Cummins, who had an outstanding day today again. Sullivan in for Impansa. The stalwart in the back, one of their captain, center back. Sullivan, one of the future of that position. 6'5", West Roxbury, Mass native, grew up in the New England Revolutionary Academy, Revs Academy, excuse me. And Bilal's tugged there, no call. Thomas crowded out, well done by Cordova and Burns, and Cordova taken down. Tell you the teams that appreciate this right now, in all honesty, probably Clemson and Cal. You know you're not waiting, you know there's no overtime. This is, you're ready to play.
To business.
You're right to business, yeah.
I can tell you, looking at the far side of this complex, really good view of the Bears. Warmed up, ready to go. Got to get warmed up in this high 40s weather. Rain constant, no wind, which is nice.
That's helpful. So Michael Howard, 35, the freshman from Apex, North Carolina, just down the street checking in. He has a fan club here because they definitely got loud for him. And then Cameron Urindo, junior from Washington, coming in the match to see it out. And Rabiu goes down. Rome saying he got the ball. And Lucas Feathers not agree. Not the best by O'Gara.
I got to tell you, if Cavaliers could step on the ball at all, these two are not in sync whatsoever. Mason Sullivan and Liam O'Gara. Remember, natural, at least last year. 6th position for O'Gara, now onto the back line. Give those boys a break. Eddie Kruger picking up an injury earlier, and certainly the final looming in a couple of days' time.
How hard is that? I mean, O'Gara, it's his first game back. He's used to being in the midfield. Now he's trying to usher a back line. What's that like?
But to me, it's bigger next to him with the freshman and Mason Sullivan just not having really any minutes so far. As a holding midfielder, you're so aware of everything around you. In theory, the game becomes a lot easier with everything in front of you. That's how I made that transition, because you could see it all. I mean, you have the best view of the entire field besides the goalkeeper. And what you need right now, though, is the confidence from someone in Liam O'Gara, just his second year, to be the commander of all of that, right?
Yeah.
Because you got a freshman next to you.
But it's your first game back in almost a year.
You don't have time to
10
waste.
months. Your
Not with Bobby Muse and Wake Forest.
But your head's got to be spinning a little bit. Clipped it in. Try to bring it down. Ooh, Bogu gets off a shot right off Sullivan's body.
Here's the other thing, too, if you're wearing a Cavaliers jersey. You can't take away anything from the previous 9 coming in, albeit the Pitt loss 4-1, fine.
Yeah.
But that was a real motivator for this group after the fact, right? 1-5, lose Pitt, 4 in succession prior to this 5-1 tonight, if it ends that way. Some of this is a bit of an audition to what is going to be an NCAA tournament game, wherever they end up in terms of seeding and, you know, if they're hosting, if 15, 16, whatever it is, or if you're just outside of that. Leave a lasting impression in the manager's mind, because there are a lot of players that played integral roles over that 9-game stretch that weren't at their best tonight.
Yeah.
And you want to fight for your spot to go and showcase yourself that next time out and pull back some of that pride, because, again, they felt very slighted in that Pitt game, and this is going to leave a sting as well.
A lot of bodies in the box, right on the penalty spot. Try to bring it down. A tick under 7 minutes. Cleared out. Petruni will come out to get it. Lucas Feathers is going to review something here. Let's see if there was...
Shove over the backside by...
So we're working to find out what he may be reviewing. The hope is this is the first year with expanded video review that the officials will communicate to the folks that are down there, because one of our teammates, TOC as they're called, is down there to tell us what they're reviewing. At this point, we don't know. Okay, now we've got confirmation. This is what we're looking at.
Touch on the end line right here when he takes a step there. No. Nothing there.
Looks like a swing and a miss. Or maybe not. No, okay, there you go. Okay, we are underway again. 6:55 to go. Wake Forest up 5-1.
Still raining.
The first of 2 ACC semifinals. It is still raining. It's rained the entire match here. We were hoping it would end between 7 and 7:30. That's what the radar looked like. It is not the case. Cal Clemson waiting in the wings. We've never had an 11 seed in a semifinal. We do tonight. We have the Golden Bears on an amazing run, which we've seen these things happen more in basketball than football, but in other sports than you see in soccer. This is not a common thing where you have, like NC State did last year in men's basketball. They were an 11 seed. They win the ACC tournament. They go to the Final Four. That doesn't really happen very often in soccer.
Well, certainly not against this level of opponent.
Yeah. It's the best conference in college basketball, college soccer. There's no doubt about it. And that makes winning this tournament just incredibly hard. So they're going to go up against the reigning ACC champs, the reigning national champs, and the Clemson Tigers.
But again, 4 wins in the top 16 when it comes to RPI.
In the last 3 weeks.
4 in the last 7 games. They've got 5 wins overall in that same window, by the way. There's only 8 wins on the year, 7 of which against Division I opponents.
Yeah.
There's only one other team in the country that can say the same thing. That's Pitt. They did it 5 times over the entire stretch of the season.
Crazy.
And yet this team is still on the ropes of making the NCAA tournament.
Yes, they
Must wins.
They have to be. Ooh, flick forward by Perez, and Alphen gets it. You have to be over 500. Currently, they're 8-7-2. To your point, one of those wins is a non-Division I opponent, so they're technically 7-7-2 by the committee's eyes. So if they lose, they're ineligible for the tournament. They need to win or lose in penalties.
Yeah.
Because even if you win in penalties, we're going to get into it. You win in penalties.
Draw and you advance, which means you're still a 500 team if you get to the final and lose, unless you
draw again.
Draw again penalties.
Yeah.
Right?
So it is quite an interesting story. We will get to it throughout the bidding part of that game. But Leonard Griffin's team has been amazing in their first year in the ACC here, really making waves. And it's interesting, too, because Stanford was ranked in the top 10 most of the year. They've struggled late. SMU's ranked in the top 20 most of the year. they lost this Wake Forest team, but they're going to be in the tournament, maybe hosting a game in the NCAA tournament. We expected those teams to be really good. This Cal team has struggled and then really hit their stride at the right time in a way that we never see.
Also the benefactor of the weight of the ACC conference with all of those results that we're talking about, right? They wouldn't have had that luxury 12 months time ago until their inclusion here.
Yep, remember, there is no, well, there was no Pac-12 tournament, and there is no Pac-12 conference currently, but they're working on that. And Lucas Feathers says play on. And Rabiu can't touch it past Rome. Under 5 minutes to go.
That's a great ball.
Ball played through to Smith. Can't get it on it, and it goes out for a corner, though. Nice job by Sullivan in recovery. Fourth corner of the match. Burns to take, kind of floats it toward the spot. Loose. Can't be cleared out. Now it is. Monty Thomas goes on a run, but it's going to go out. Bilal on it. Audacious. Lucas Feathers throwing that ball away. It's been dead.
Pressure.
Bogu brings it down, tries to leave it, and does for Beauvoir. Got options.
Nice back door's wide open.
Under 3 minutes to play. Good tracking back. Bilal lays it off to Borso. Bilal now making another run forward. Rabiu to the other wing. We'll see if Borso just slows it down. I think he will.
Thanks for coming. Again, just I want to go back here and just pay credit to Bobby Muse because 5 goals.
Yeah.
He can sit on the bench in the technical area, especially with this abysmal weather. No one's the wiser if you shut it down and just quiet, and yet constantly teaching, coaching. I mean, he's standing here every single ball. Quick, play, slow things down, up over the top. Just incredible communication from the manager. Just keep teaching, even though you're sitting on that 4-goal pad.
Biggest margin of victory of the season for Wake Forest, assuming they hold this 4-goal pad with less than 140 to go. This will be Bobby Muse's 3rd time in the ACC final. He's won the previous 2 in 16 and 17. They were the last team to repeat championships of this tournament. They also now will have 150 victories since he came as head coach in 2015. That is the most in the country. It's an average of 15 wins a year in college soccer over his 10-year tenure. That's wild.
It's a joke. And people are going to think, wow, like how do they play that many games? You go to the postseason every single year, and you go to the postseason with confidence that finds success. You talk about that 2019 year and that crazy final that was. Friendly reminder, that Wake Forest team was a part of that College Cup.
Yep.
They have not so fond memories of a job not well done that night and trying to find a way to gain a bit of retribution here.
Well, this is his 6th semifinal appearance in this tournament. So you talk about postseason. It's going into this tournament, winning games, and going into the national tournament winning games. We're under 40 seconds now. Clipped in. Good ball. Good, right to a Bogu. I mean, right, Bogu's header right to Alfin. Just blasted deep. Rabiu brings it down. He'll play it forward. Two blue blood programs in college soccer. UVA has owned this rivalry in terms of history. It was 14-9. Well, it's now 15-9. And the last two times they met in this tournament, Wake has prevailed both times. Your thoughts?
Well, I'm going to start there with the Cavaliers, and